All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our Saturday night's main event review series. It's going to be the main event 5. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, and let's get into this. This is the actual final main event they'll ever do, thank God, because it's not the same anymore. And now this is actually the first time they've done one back to back. And the match that kicked this off should have been on the last one, but whatever. Now the one thing that to note about this one is this was the worst viewed main event ever. It was actually 10.6 million viewers or a 6.7 rating. The reason why is this was not aired in Los Angeles the day that they they put it on live from Macon, Georgia. Now they did it on January 28, 1991, but it didn't air till February 1st. There was a accident at the Los Angeles International Airport where LA decided that they were going to air the stuff about that as opposed to the main event. That could contribute to possibly the reason why the ratings were so bad. That and the fact that Hulk Hogan was on it, or the fact that he was named the number one contender. So, but anyway, let's get into it. It kicked off. They did a video package. Now he's campaigning here.
Yeah.
This is it. He's doing the whole Stars and Stripes tour with the bases and everything. He's posing with them. So this is going
With the military, yeah. The troops.
So they opened up. The first match was Hulk Hogan and Tugboat versus Earthquake and Dino Bravo. This was probably 2 months too late. At this point, this feud has run its course and then some. I was actually hoping this was the night that Tugboat turned on Hogan, but it was a little later on after this. What's funny is Vince McMahon and Roddy Piper doing the commentating. Vince referred to Bravo and Earthquake as the natural disasters. I thought that was funny. A little too early for that, but
yeah, right.
It fit better with Typhoon. So, I mean, the match itself wasn't bad. Like I said, the storyline had run its course. We should have seen this the night after Survivor Series, and it should have been over and done with. And what's funny about this one is, Earthquake goes for the finisher on Tugboat. Hogan, breaks it up, gets the tag from Tugboat, and he gets the victory naturally. God forbid Tugboat should get the pin here. And hopefully, finally, once and for all, we're done with this. Hogan and Tugboat beat Dino Bravo and Earthquake. Honestly, I don't believe Earthquake never even got a victory over Hogan once. Not televised, anyway.
No, he did put him out of commission, so I guess that's a victory, sort of.
So. Yeah, and what's funny is Hogan got the tag. He did the boot on Bravo and rolled him up. He didn't even do the leg drop. So I don't know if Vince told them, "Hey, hurry this up. We got to go."
Yeah, I don't know.
It was unorthodox of Hogan to do just that, but unless he's trying to prove that Bravo's not strong enough to get out from my roll up, brother. But in any event, following this match, now they showed what happened at the Royal Rumble between Savage, Sherry, Warrior, Slaughter, the whole thing. Sherry asking for the title shot that he just spit and said no, which didn't make any sense because he already agreed to it. And so they show the match. Savage's interference several times, including the freaking scepter shot over the head. Man, I fell for Warrior on that one. And of course, Slaughter with the elbow drop gets the pin on Warrior. He's the champion. Why? I have no idea.
Well, you do know.
I know. I just wish we didn't.
Yeah.
In an alternate universe, he's not the WWE champion, and he faces Hogan at WrestleMania 7 1-on-1, and we get Warrior and Savage. But in any event, so they talk about that, and they interviewed Sergeant Slaughter because this would be the first televised title match of his career. He'd be facing Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah. And anytime I see Slaughter now, past, present, or whatever, and he's talking, I think of DX with the shields. I mean, and the wiper blades. It's just funny. I don't know. And I'm also, of course, I'm wearing the shirt too. So in any event, now we have Duggan. It's funny in this match because when Slaughter comes down, who does Duggan come down with?
Hulk Hogan. With the American flag.
I mean, why don't he just wear a shirt that says, "Pick me, brother"? because he's doing everything in his power to tell you I'm going to WrestleMania. I mean, if you didn't know this already back then, you were kind of hoping
Kind of know.
maybe
I mean,
not.
you kind of know. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, it was
That's. I
coming.
mean, that's the book. Whoever's booking did it that way. You know. So.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
mean, Hogan comes down. The referee told Hogan, "You're not a manager. You have no license. Get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
So Hogan had to leave. So Duggan is facing Slaughter on his own. It was good to see Duggan get a title shot. I mean, he's not going to win it,
Yeah.
but Duggan did hold his own against Slaughter.
Yeah. With General Adnan in Slaughter's corner.
Yeah, well, he's got a manager's license,
Yeah.
supposedly. And it's funny, your first title defense, you get disqualified. So Duggan wins, but doesn't win the title. Slaughter used the chair and gets disqualified. So, and then all of a sudden they're beating down. He's using the cropper, whatever that thing is on Duggan. So here comes Hogan after again. He comes
Yep.
down, and now Slaughter's attacking Hogan. So now when they talked about Jack Tunney would come out later. Okay, yeah, we know where this is going now.
Hacksaw. I noticed in this match when Hacksaw clotheslined Sergeant Slaughter, he took a really nasty bump. When Slaughter goes over the rope,
Yes,
his back like bends and he hits kind of like I think he hits the mat and falls out. It looked really, really, really bad. Really bad.
that
He
one
didn't
and the
get
one
hurt.
where he went over the turnbuckle. And I mean, this is not an agile man. He's no cruiserweight. He's 280, 290. But to be able to you elevate yourself, and you're not young either. I
No.
mean, this is your second run in WWE because your first one was worthless.
Well, it's
And
not worthless. He was probably second to Hogan. He was the probably biggest babyface at the time. It's just that he had a fallout with Vince over the he wanted to do GI Joe and then they kicked him out.
yeah,
So
and then went to the AWA
yeah.
for a length of time. But I mean, you're no spring chicken, but taking falls like that, especially how he did at the Rumble, at least I was impressed at least with that he was able to do the stuff like that and still able to wrestle and not be hurt. I mean
Yeah.
because again, he's not young and he's not 210, 215. This guy weighs 280. But so now we know. Well, not yet officially, but you as fans, were hinted at Hogan's facing Slaughter.
Mhm.
So following that, now we have one match left, and Mean Gene is interviewing the Legion of Doom. Of all the teams to face on main event, it's going to be the Orient Express. Why? I have no idea.
I mean,
I would have at least
yeah, but Orient Express wasn't they weren't a bad tag team.
no, but LLD made him look at that way. That's my
Yeah,
only
I mean
thing.
they're gonna
They
squash
squashed him.
everybody. Yeah, that's what the Legion of Doom did. They squashed everybody. So it didn't matter who they put them in there with. They were
No,
gonna squash
because
them.
remember the Orient Express had a great match against the Rockers
Oh,
not too long ago, a couple weeks prior to this at the Rumble. I mean, they were good, but when you put them up against two these guys, and I mean, it just seems like LOD was not okay. You did this move to me, yeah, I'm
they
not
didn't
buying
want to
it.
sell. They didn't want to sell for anybody. So
Yeah, that was the only issue. I still like them, but that
yeah,
was the only thing. They were going to be dominant until they got their way to the tag team championship. And at one point, it's funny during the match, Fuji, throws the salt in Animal's eye. Animal can't see, but he can find Hawk for the tag. And of course, they do the Doomsday device. Hawk pins Kato at Legion of Doom. It gets the 1, 2, 3, and they are the victors. This was our whole main event card, which again, main event is at this point it's lost its purpose.
yeah.
So now, following all these three matches, now Mean Gene interviewed Jack Tunney in the ring, and I like how Mean Gene did this. I don't know. I'm guessing it was he didn't go off on his own mentioning everybody, but I like the fact that he at least told Jack Tunney and told the fans that look, there's several other contenders out there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Duggan who deserves a rematch. He won but didn't get the title. You got Warrior who didn't get his rematch. He mentioned Hogan. Hogan never got his rematch from WrestleMania, thank God. And then of course you have Savage, who Slaughter said would be the number one contender, but they never fought. So with all that said, Tony just goes, "Oh, WrestleMania, it's going to be Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter." Wow, thanks, guy.
Yeah,
Appreciate you. But again, back then you knew it was going to be that. So Slaughter was the placeholder between Warrior and Hogan. So following that, now we get the interview. Sean Mooney interviews the Sergeant Slaughter about Hulk Hogan. So now it's starting to get heated up. and it was a pretty decent interview. But
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
the one I like was the final one when they did it in the ring. Mean Gene interviewed Hogan in the ring, and he's talking about the armed forces and everything. And he had everybody stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. He got very patriotic in here, which I liked. And so, I guess it was to get the crowd behind it, which didn't really take much. Seeing as how Slaughter was the Iraqi sympathizer and Hogan's the patriot. So, I mean, the interviews weren't bad, but again, Hogan and Slaughter for the championship. Okay, do I believe Slaughter should have been the champion? Absolutely not, but it is what it is, man.
All right, so that's our main event review, the last main event. There's still a few more Saturday night's main events to come. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.